Hi everyone. I'm currently in Portugal and I thought I'd share some information for those of you who may be considering retiring, relocating, or investing in this country. This information is provided by PIRA, the Portuguese International Realty Alliance. The first thing to note is that there is no MLS or multiple listing service here. Certain franchise networks like Remax, KW, ERA, Century 21, and Comprar Casa do share their listings. But the best way to search for property is to find a location you love, rent, and search that area for properties. Builders associate themselves with agents and sell direct to the public, so you wouldn't necessarily find their listing if you didn't drive by and see what was going on. The main property portals for consumer searches are Idealista, Imovirtual, and Casa Sapo. There are no restrictions on property ownership for foreigners. In fact, foreigners are welcomed. There continue to be programs which make it easier for foreigners to move to this country. With a relatively minimal amount of verifiable monthly income, you can gain citizenship here after just a few years. A typical transaction has contracts signed, with the mortgage as the main contingency. The closing process usually takes 30 to 45 days, unless it's new construction, where a system of installments is typical based on the project's progress. Final deeds are signed by a public notary. And who pays the commission fees? The seller does. We now have buyer-broker agreements in the U.S., but here it's the seller that pays an agent's commission if you decide to use an agent. Portugal has had a long history of non-residents who've retired here. They've come mainly from Europe and the UK and have settled in southern Algarve. It's estimated that 20% of all property transactions in 2018 were by foreign buyers. Property is seen as a safe and good investment, helping to recover old city centers, renewing old buildings into units with a high-priced market value. I'm sure the 20% figure is much higher since the pandemic. New construction is now on the rise, and as prices are higher in city centers, the areas outside the city are now starting to attract more buyers with families. This is a good time to buy. I have a friend who purchased a property and decided to sell it upon completion. He bought it at 10 a.m. That is, he completed his paperwork on the purchase at 10 a.m. and sold it at 3 p.m. on the same day for over 100,000 euros more. This demonstrates how attractive it is to buy in this country at this time. It is, however, important to buy in a good location from a reputable builder and with a good representative. What attracts most people to our country? Lower cost of living in comparison to U.S. standards, good weather. There's over 350 days of sunshine in a year. Safety, friendly people. You can get by with English alone, but attempting to speak the native language can only add to your experience with neighbors and friends. If any of this sounds interesting to you, feel free to contact me. My name is Yvonne de Oliveira. I'm with Preferred Shore Realty in Sarasota, Florida, but I often travel to Portugal and I speak Portuguese fluently. Thank you.